guys. Hope everybody's having a great day now. I want to talk about my expectations for the Cleveland Browns this year. I was watching the NFL Network, I think a week or two ago, and they were talking about the Cleveland Browns. Oh, what do you think their schedule is going to be? And I forgot who was up there doing the schedule and say, hey, this might be their wins, this might be their losses. And I was looking at it, and I was like, hey, that was my prediction that for me, the team, before I get to that, the team went 7-8-1. Now, for me, the team has to go 10-6 to say, hey, we had a good season from going 7-8-1. The previous year we was 0-16, and then now they went to 7-8-1. They improved. Then you get to 10 wins and you have 6 losses. It's a good season if it's 10-6. It's a good season. The NFL, now I know Odell Beckham did say that he wants the Browns to be the new Patriots, and a lot of people gave him some pushback. But it's okay to think positive in an organization that's been down for so long. A lot of people just don't understand this. They just want you to shut up and play, which is a stupid mentality. You can dream. Listen, not put too expectations on yourself, but as an organization to challenge the organization and say, hey, we can be better because we have great talent, we have great potential. As Cleveland Browns fans, you guys should want Odell Beckham to say something like that. Hey, listen, we need positive. All we have for all these years is just a negative, negative, negative. We want a positive voice. And that's positive for Odell Beckham to say it. Now, he did clarify his comments and different things like that, but it still was positive enough for him to say that. Now, for me, like I said, 10-6 is a good season. Obviously, 8-8 is not a good season because of, the hype that the media is putting on you guys. Not you guys, the media is putting on you guys. So when I say this, 10-6 is a good record for me, and to me that might be a wild card spot, which would be a good first year. Because to me, it's not like you go from 7-8-1 to the Super Bowl a year later. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to predict that far. But for me, 10-6 is a good record. Now, if the team were to go 10-6, 11-5 is a good year. If they went 12-4 and 13-3, you're exceeding expectations because of how the team and the franchise has been for all these years. Now, for me, having Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Galloway in the slot, and all those guys can actually run in the slot. Galloway can go deep. Jarvis Landry can go deep. Odell Beckham. So this is a great combination of wide receivers that can just go from the slot, run around, outside. All those guys can play on the outside. Now, Galloway is 5'11" or something like that, or 5'10", maybe 5'9". I don't have the height in front of me, but these guys can go deep. He can run deep. You can run deep through the slot. These guys are going to be so good because all the wide receivers have speed and they're fast. Jarvis Landry's a great route runner. Odell Beckham can run routes. He can run every route on the route tree. Galloway, but I would keep Galloway in the slot because of his speed, and he's just so fast that I would want Odell Beckham and obviously Jarvis Landry to be on the outside. Now, Njoku is a great, strong, big tight end that can help up the middle just in case if, they're, doubling Jarvis and Odell, but that'll be a lot, especially 4 DBs on basically 2 guys. So, but basically David Njoku at tight end is a great tight end. I always liked him when they picked him up out of the draft. A lot of people thought he was going to be underrated. When I looked at him, I said, he can be good. And when he broke out in his first year, I was like, man, this guy's going to be so good in this league. Now, you have the tight end, you have your wide receivers, you have your running back Nick Chubb, who ran for 996 yards last year, and you have Kareem Hunt, who's going to come back after 8 games, and he ran for 800 and over 20-something yards the previous year as well, before, whatever happened with him. Now, you have both of those guys, you have Kareem, and you still have Duke Johnson. So you have Kareem Hunt coming back, Nick Chubb, and Duke Johnson still be there. They may trade him. They may not. If somebody gets hurt, another team may come in and offer to take him from the team, give him a draft pick, but maybe a 3rd or 4th round pick, depending on what happens. Now, the defense, you got Myles Garrett, you got Sheldon Richardson, and you got Olivier Vernon from the Browns, and you got Denzel Ward, you got Greedy Williams out of the draft. So this team has expectations. Now the offensive line you drafted, I think they really need a tackle. I think they drafted one offensive lineman in the later rounds or maybe in the middle round. I'm not sure. Can't recall right this second. But the expectations on the Cleveland Browns should be that you win 10 games. Moreover is 12 and then 13 and then hell. If you you go 12-4, you go 13-3, and then you just go what 14-2, like, but that's just way. I mean, that would be like, okay, you get a first round bye, the New England Patriots are not playing, like, so for me, that's really my expectation for the Cleveland Browns. Go 10-6 this year. You get a wild card spot, or maybe you even beat the Pittsburgh Steelers out of that spot, because I think the Ravens are going to come down just a little bit because Lamar Jackson has to be able to throw down the field now. It's not going to be heavy based defense for him. They still have a good defense, but not really like last year. And well, Earl Thomas being addition is a great addition. The Cleveland Browns, to me, have the most talented team in that division. I expect Cleveland Browns to win 10 games. If they don't, then they're probably kind of a letdown. But because of all the talent that you guys have, I'm expecting a big year out of Baker Mayfield. He broke Russell Wilson and Peyton Manning's touchdown record with 26. But they had 26. He broke it with 27. So if you look at it, you see the promising future of the Cleveland Browns. Your head coach, he's inexperienced, but we're going to see if he's actually experienced enough in his play calling, because he only play called for 1 year after Hugh Jackson got fired. And obviously Greg Williams was your interim coach, but now you get to Baker Mayfield gets 1 full year under Freddie Kitchens this whole year. If the Cleveland Browns go 10-6 this year, they don't make it to the wild card, or they do make it to the wild card and they lose, and then you come back next year, because if you make it to the playoffs, it's still a good season. Now you come back next year, the year after that, with more experience, more chemistry, then it's off and running. But this year, I do think the Cleveland Browns will go 10-6, and they will have a pretty decent year, not a bad year. Like I said, 9-7 is still a little decent, but 10-6 is really the preferred number, and I really think they're going to go 10-6, maybe 11-5, but we'll see how the season goes. But I am totally hyped up. I can't wait for preseason. You guys know how I am about preseason. I love preseason. I love to see how the team is going to end up and how the team's going to wind up and how everything's looking. I already looked at the draft. I will be making videos on how I feel about the draft, especially like the Cleveland Browns added Odell Beckham Jr. So I'll be looking at the draft. I'll be looking at the players that they selected, and we'll talk about that in future videos to come. But I'm very, very excited about the Cleveland Browns. I've always had in my mind the San Francisco 49ers, the Cleveland Browns, and New York Jets are going to be the 3 teams that make a huge jump in the next, basically, I think I said this 2 years ago on the channel about the Jets. But those 3 teams right there, for me, we're going to make a huge jump within 5 years of their rebuild. And long and behold, Cleveland's making a big jump in their rebuild in the 5-year period. So that's my expectations for the Cleveland Browns. Let me know how you guys feel in the comment section down below. Tell me your thoughts, where you agree with me, where you disagree with me. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with more videos. Subscribe to the channel, please, and thank you. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace.